One person is reported dead in the Bimbilla township in the Nanumba North district of the northern region after gunshots were fired in the community by two groups of butchers who clashed over the payment of homage to the regent. The town has since become a ghost town following another curfew imposed on the town. The incident is believed to have been triggered by the refusal of one of the factions to honor the obligation of presenting a share of animals killed in the local abattoir to the regent as custom demands. This comes 2 days after some attacks were recorded at Talensi during the by-elections. It also comes at a time when the Interior Minister has been widely criticized for making comments that suggest that the only way to deal with violence is to retaliate with violence, even though the minister has explained that wasn't the context in which he was speaking. Should words like violence begets violence come from a minister, and most especially an interior minister, how do we resolve this unending violence in the north? My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is today's big story. It is a norm in the Bimbilla area for every butcher to present part of their slaughter to the regent. But one of the group that disputes the legitimacy of the current regent refused to honor the tradition, and that sparked the gunshot. The Bimbilla township has been under a 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew since last year over chieftaincy disagreements. We're told there are still occasional gunshots, even though the police have beefed up their presence. Let's get on to the phone lines now and speak with our regional correspondent, Martina Bugari. Good evening, Martina.
Good evening, Aisha.
What can you tell us? Is the situation? What is the situation now in the Bimbilla township?
The place is calm now. The security have taken over the town, and everybody is indoors. The place is quiet. It's actually like a ghost town. And eventually everything is quiet in the town.
So what can you say of police presence too in the area?
They are visible in the area. You can see them moving through the town, moving up and down, indicating their presence in the area.
I know that recently there were some chieftaincy clashes in Bimbilla, and there are concerns this gunshot is an offshoot of the chieftaincy dispute that led to the 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. curfew in that town. Is that what you have gathered?
And that's why we are, even though we are told that the immediate cause is a meat issue that came up, but at the undertone we gather is the old chieftaincy clashes that erupted again.
And what exactly triggered this? Because there has been a chief already, so whether they like it or not, there's a chief now. So where comes the dispute, or where from the dispute?
Well, the issue is that it's a tradition that you must present meat you have slaughtered to the chief. That's what we are being told. But the butchers said they would not do it. And that is the issue that's creating the confusion at the moment.
Reason being?
Well, they haven't told us the reason why they won't do it.
We know one person is dead. What can you say about the death toll? Any more deaths? Any injuries?
The death toll has actually increased. We have 4 deaths and 9 injuries now.
Wow. So how many people are injured? And have you been able to speak with the families of the dead?
We tried speaking to one, but they are not in a position to speak to us at the moment.
And how many people are injured?
We are told 9 people are injured.
Where are those people now?
Yeah, the Bimbilla hospital.
Have you been able to visit the hospital? How are they doing? Are they responding to treatment?
Not yet. I am actually on my way back home.
Well, I know the Northern Regional Minister has called for an urgent RegSec meeting to review the curfew, and also he's also asking the police to conduct proper investigations into this matter. Do you have any idea whether the RegSec meeting has been held and what the outcome is?
Before I left Kamale this morning, they had finished a signing agreement between the local government and MDDA. And he said as soon as that was over, they were going to hold the meeting and then decide on what action to take next.
Well, many thanks to you. Martina will be catching up with you to tell us more about the Bimbilla incident. But on the other phone line is Dominic Nitiwul. He's the Member of Parliament for the area. Good evening, Honorable. We're very grateful for your time.
Thank you very much. And good evening.
So how are you taking the news of another gunshot in your constituency?
You know, this will not be any happy moment for any member, anybody who comes from the area and talk of a member of parliament. I was very sad that it happened because I didn't expect it again. I've been in my constituency lately, but I had to go for the by-election. And it was unexpected that something like this will happen at this particular time. So I'm very sad that it's happening. No constituency wants bad news to be coming out of it. No area wants bad news to be coming out of it. And I'm utterly disgusted and confused and sad and
now, there are concerns these issues keep emanating because we haven't been able to deal with the root cause of the matter, which is the chieftaincy issue in the area. All those chieftaincy issues that led to the curfew that the area is now imposed with, have you had the cost to speak with these two factions? And how do you intend to tackle this matter now that the latest has happened?
I have already said that I've always been raising this matter everywhere I find myself, that we should deal with this issue decisively once and for all. The more it lingers on, the worse it will become. So the most important thing is to deal with it immediately and make sure it's sorted out once and for all. Secondly, I've always said that government should deal with the matter quickly. Once the House of Chiefs have dealt with some aspect, the government should deal with that matter quickly. We in the area expect government to protect us. They should give us the security. It is not the people themselves that will give themselves security. So that security aspect is squarely in the realm of government, and government should do that. You know, and I've been pressing and fighting and doing everything. What I have restrained my people, my supporters, and my party from doing is to politicize this matter, and I'm happy that they have never politicized this Bimbilla issue. But the government should do their part and make sure that the security of the area is secured.
Violence in the north has been a great concern to all of us. You are a northerner, and this is not the first time something of this nature is happening. And basically, all of these things normally come up because there is a chieftaincy dispute. How should we handle this matter?
My brother, my dear, my sister, you know, even when I was a little boy, like 3-4 years, the first conflict happened in the north. In my life, I've grown to see two more conflicts happen, and I can tell you, I'm not a happy person at all. And to be at this age and a member of parliament, these things are still happening. It means we are not doing something right. So it's the same thing you will have to apply everywhere. We surely are not doing something right all over the northern region, because if we are doing something right, it shouldn't take us 30 years to be able to sort out issues that we should be able to sort out within years or days. I just think that we are not doing it. We should hold the boom by the horn and do it properly. But in the Bimbilla case right now, the most important thing we have to do is to immediately appeal for calm, as I'm currently using your station to do. Ask the people to lay down their arms. There is no need for us to fight. There's no need for violence. You can achieve whatever aim you have fighting. It's not possible. I mean, it's not possible you can do that. So once you lay down your arms and sympathize with the people who have lost their dear ones and say that, look, this requires no reprisal attacks. Let's put our arms. Let's see what we can do. Let's judge or let's talk, and then also assure the outside world that those, especially outside Bimbilla, that look, everybody should be calm. Nobody should get involved. If you are not involved in it, don't get involved. If you are involved in it, lay down your arms and so that the security can take control. I support the minister when he says that we should do thorough investigation to what has happened and then make sure that the right thing is done. We can't continue like this. It is not right. Absolutely not right.
Honorable, we understand that the police must do its part, beef up security, protect us as a people. But you want to talk about attitudes. What can we do as individuals to avoid these kind of things?
That's why I said that, look, I'm a member of parliament, so I should lead by example. I am one of the very few political leaders who can go to all the warring factions in their houses and sit with them, chat with them, speak to them. And every time I go, I do that. Even when sometimes our political collaborators will say, hey, don't go here. I say, no, they are all my people. I don't mind. And then I go everywhere, and people get happy. You can ask anybody. The last time I went to all the key sizes who were having this problem. And I decided to greet everybody. Say that, look, you are all my constituents. I don't discriminate. That is the way we should act. If key actors, whether they are traditional actors, whether they are political actors, whether the security operatives, they should be fair to everybody and see everybody as the same. And say A when it is A and B when it is B. Otherwise, we can't solve the problem, my dear. We can't solve the problem. We should be very neutral in whatever we do. Neutral in the way we act our things, and let our actions be with a clean heart. It will help us as individuals and as Northerners who are caught up in this matter. We must say from today that, look, we will not use arms to solve our issues. We should talk, and we can always use we can use dialogue to solve our issues. How do you think that you can fight and solve issues? It's not possible. It doesn't matter where violence is, but once you decide that you want to use violence, it will not solve the issue. So the most important thing is for individuals to say, look, we will talk, we'll see each other as brothers, and then we'll say, Bimbilla, look, the last time the chief imam died in the area, almost half of the town came out to go and bury. You couldn't see who's who. You didn't even know that people had a problem in the area. So why is it that funerals can unite us? Why is it that political parties, look, the time I did my confirmation, almost all of them, both sides, they came and they shook hands, entered houses, and they were greeting, they were all happy. Why is that this can unite us? That's suddenly something small, and then we are at each other's throats. I believe we can unite. I believe we can look at each other and say, you are my brother, you are my brother, you are my sister. Let's just sit down and we'll talk. And I'm sure that if we are able to put down our arms, if we are able to put down our weapons, we will be able to talk and move on as people.
Okay, Honorable, I'll have you hold on the other line because there is a security analyst, Ebenezer Sowate, on the other line. Good evening. Many thanks for your time on today's big story. Emmanuel, I'm told, sorry for butchering your name. Hello, Mr. Sowate.
Hello.
Yes, you're welcome on today's big story. We've just come out from... hello, Mr. Sowate.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just welcoming you to today's big story. We appreciate your time. I was just asking that we've just come out from...
The line is faint. You say...
Let me try and speak a bit louder. I'm saying that we've just come out from some pockets of attacks and gunshots that characterize the Talensi by-elections. Now another gunshot in Bimbilla. We don't know where the next gunshot will be, but should we be worried about these incidents?
No, it is not. It's not a new phenomenon in terms of the deployment of firearms by civilians in theaters. For me, as a keen observer, I'm not surprised. But the difference has to do with the intensity. Now, I'm not on the ground to know whether the factions are deploying more assault rifles or they are using the traditional single barrel, double barrel, and pump action. I know that in the northern sector, there are a lot of assault rifles there, and people can move them around, hide them if there is, allow in the fight, and then activate them if there are need for their deployment. So I am not surprised at all.
But these are individuals who have access to guns just like that. Within a twinkle of an eye, people are just firing here and there. Is that what we should encourage in this country?
No, we shouldn't encourage that, but it's not just a twinkle of an eye. You see, what you see, every shot is a manifestation of a thought-out plan by somebody, as a victim or as a perpetrator. Now, let me explain. You see, in different conflict theaters, people use weapons for different purposes. And the weapons are not at a particular standard. In other words, if you think that you are used to a conflict in a particular geographical area where finger barrels were used, these days there are weapons in the system. And so people can get them outside the country and bring them, or they are enough in the system, so you can move them around. What happens, as I said, repeating myself, is that these guns are hidden at places where people think that they will need them. And they will need them is contingent on their own assessment, the individual assessment. Normally, the individual is part of a group, so like they are part of a unit.
Right.
Okay, and then they will discuss a particular event. A butcher has said X, Y, Z. Somebody has been slapped here. Somebody has been beaten here. And so, because we have mobile phones, even if they are geographical distances of maybe 10 kilometers or 5 kilometers or 3 kilometers, you'll be able to activate their network and say that, okay, our head has been slapped here or beaten here. In the traditional sense, if you slap a kid, it holds a lot of implications in terms of security. So you see that somebody has gone to a butcher shop to ask for a tribute. The tribute wasn't given, and just because of that, somebody was slapped, and then the firing started. No, the person going to ask for a tribute means that the person might think that it's the rightful traditional authority.
Right.
And if you refuse and he thinks that you are refusing because you are not recognizing him and recognizing somebody else, it means that you think that he doesn't have the resources to show you where power lies. So just going to a butcher's shop might trigger violence and gunshots that will lead to so many deaths. It is not just going to the butcher's shop. No, it is not. It has meaning traditionally. And that is why you need to understand the traditional context and the meanings of actions and inactions, dances, songs, movement, innuendos, to be able to put in appropriate interventions to prevent such escalation, because they always strike out peace if it is not dealt with the root.
But I'm worried that individuals have so much power with guns, and that even at a butcher's place, if somebody slaps somebody, what I should be seeing was exchange of blows and not exchange of gunshots.
Yes, you see, the exchange of blows, remember I said earlier on, for example, this vigilante, political vigilantism that we are having, it is dangerous because it starts with the trading of blows. So two groups, maybe 5 years, they trade info. And then the next time, depending on the cultural context and the words you might have different implications. You've told me this, I'll show you where power lies. You said it verbally, but the corresponding response in the traditional context might be more force, so that can be a blow. The other person will say, you hit somebody we respect in our group. So we shall also not only trade blows, but we look for bladed weapons and sticks. And then there's a counter response that you say, I'll use a projectile, maybe single barrel. And then somebody will say double barrel, pump action, AK-47. It doesn't just start from assault rifle. It doesn't project like that. Even if it's assault rifle, it doesn't start by 50 people having on this side, 50 having on this side. It becomes an armed race. It is also psychological. You want to project power in terms of psychological power, physical power. So as you get the gun, you want to show that you don't only have more sophisticated weapons, but you have more. And that is how the armed trade race is engendered. And
obviously, these people are in possession of something they're supposed to protect themselves with, but they're not using it to its intended purpose, or they're not using it carefully. How do we get rid of so many people having guns in that area?
Madam, in security, protections means a lot. There's offensive posture, there's defensive posture. Sometimes you have to be proactive to defend yourself. So if your idea of protection means that you sit down for the attack to come before you respond, no. Sometimes you have to be proactive to incapacitate that person, to make it difficult for the other person to move. It is basic in conventional military. The ordinary military person will tell you that.
So
so your issue is, how do we get the weapons out? Is that your question?
Yes. How do we ensure that too many people do not have guns in the area? Because it's being misused.
No, you see, when you use the word misuse, it's misuse for you in the studio in Accra. But those on the theater, some of them think that they are using it appropriately, because maybe they think that culturally, yes, it shows that you are tough. In these days, you need it because you might not be able to rely in terms of the response time of the security agencies. And even if somebody kills your person who is a victim, you are not too sure whether the prosecution will go to a logical conclusion. And these are all manifestations of the lack of trust and confidence between certain components of society. and particularly the security agencies. And that is being worked at. That is why, for example, today what the police had brought out in terms of saying that they criticize this vigilantism and that they are going to prosecute people. Now, if you prosecute people, it helps. One, because suppose that, okay, if you are close to power or not, you can be prosecuted. And those who are not too close to power will say the police would protect us. And it is up to all of us to follow through to make sure that the police keep prosecuting people. And when I say prosecution, it means that, of course, you talk about the Attorney General's Department, well resourced to do that.
So should we look on? Should we look on because these people are defending themselves? They are in defense, and that's why they're applying these guns here and there. Should we look on because it's normal?
No, it is not normal, and it shouldn't be normal. But you see, I'm saying that when you're looking at security issue, you also have to contextualize it. If you're in the theater, you need to understand. When it comes to firearms, there are reasons why people demand firearms and why people use firearms. Normally, if you want to take firearms out of a community from individual or a group of people, you either do weapons buyback program or weapons for development. Weapons buyback program is usually you bring the gun, you take money, and you should make sure that people do not bring weapons from other places. Hello, am I on air?
Yes, we are still listening.
People do not bring weapons from other places. So, whenever you want to take arms, you need to understand why people demand the arms and that full supply. And that is just a small component of a bigger peace process. So you cannot go there now. You can do cordon and fetch. But cordon and fetch, the locals are usually the denizens of the area. They know how to hide these weapons. Even if you take metal detectors, they always try to avoid it, no matter how you have it. And you can't get the source and bring more. So until you deal with the root cause, you can take 50 weapons out. Once there's people on the ground think that the threat is still there, they'll bring 100 more.
Does this justify the fact that the Minister of Interior is quoted to have said violence begets violence? Does this justify that?
I didn't hear the last part of the question.
I'm saying that this whole thing has come on the wheels that the Minister for the Interior has made a comment saying that violence begets violence, suggesting that the only way to deal with violence is to retaliate with violence. We know he's explained that he did not mean that, but should such words be coming out from an Interior Minister? And from your explanation, should we accept, is it justifiable that violence begets violence?
No, you see, don't take me out of context. Now let me go back and explain. Maybe I'm not communicating well. I'm saying that when you to take weapons out of the community, there are reasons, there are rational beings. There are reasons why people keep firearms and why people deploy firearms.
Exactly.
The reason why they will use the weapons for defensive posture and for offensive posture. If you understand their situation, it will help you to design appropriate intervention. I'm not saying that you should respond to violence by violence. I'm saying that sometimes people do that based on their own calculations. I am not the Minister of Interior. If I had the power and the influence at this level, I wouldn't say that. Even if I say that the platform will be different, what I would do is to try to put in mechanism. For example, the Peace Council is there. For example, you have CNI there. They have the House of Peace. It is a continuous, sustainable process to get durable peace because there are different categories of peace. Some are fragile, some are durable. You understand? And once you don't put this on the front burner, when the firing stops, you push it to the back burner, but the problems are still lingering.
Right.
And behind the veneer of peace are deep-seated pain and challenges that might trigger with a small spark. So that is where you need the state to intervene. Other than that, it will not only be at community level, but the individual level.
Right.
When somebody slaps, you slap the person, you look for a weapon to slap the person.
Right.
Or you have a piece of land, a land guard threatening you, you look for another land guard. And so if the state is firm and the state is playing its role and people trust the state, some of these things are just a manifestation of sometimes the challenges of our state. When I say our, not only Ghana, but in the sub-region.
Right.
And we need to deal with it through consistent effort. Other than that, you hear that now 4 people have died. I don't know the factions.
Right.
And there's one thing very critical. 4 people have died. But in analysis, you cannot say it is 2 here, 2 here. Because sometimes you kill one person on the other side, but that person is worth 10 on the other side. So until the 10 of the other people are killed, you are going to have, challenges, and you're going to have very tense situations.
Certainly,
People
the
normally
police
calculate
must
one,
put
one.
their
It's not
foot
like that.
down to be able to curtail this. Otherwise, more people are going to die. Many thanks to you, Mr. Emmanuel Thowate, security analyst. We're very grateful for your time. Let's get on to the other phone line because Honorable Dominic Nichiwol is still waiting. Honorable, we have been using dialogue all this while, and we're still recording these kind of incidents. Is it that our strategies must be changed? Hello, Honorable. Hello. I believe his line has also dropped. But we're still talking about the shooting in Bimbilla. We're told the death toll has increased to 4. And we're looking at the issues that have brought about this kind of shooting. It's not just a butcher going to the abattoir and a kingsman coming to ask for his share or asking for a token for the regent, but it started with a chieftaincy dispute, a long-standing dispute which has not been resolved. And so clearly this is coming from an unhealed wound, and we're looking at how we can resolve these issues, especially in the north. We've been talking on today's big story. We are unable to get Dominic Nichiwol to speak on the matter again, but we want to say thank you to Honorable Dominic Nichiwol for your time. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We'll be back with Joy News Interactive.